Hello everybody, this is Joe Neely, and you are watching The Golden Hour. As you can see, this is a very golden time. The sun is shining on the trees behind me, and if you look over here, you may be able to see the sun itself, which is just peeking behind the trees now. I love how this hour looks. I love the gold that you can see there in the trees behind me. So, anyway, I am doing well. I am enjoying my meditations. For those of you on the push-up counter, I'm up to 76. I did 74 yesterday. So that's pretty neat. It's amazing that I can see myself still growing and growing. It's amazing that when you push for things and you push for things, sometimes you have to push for a while just getting the same results or slightly better or slightly worse, and then all of a sudden it pops and then you get to a new plateau, and that's certainly what's happened there. I remember when I was pushing to try to get to 60 and to try to get to 60 in fewer sets, and then all of a sudden I'm up above that by quite a lot. Like I said before, doing them in 20s really feels good. It really feels like that's a real set, so that's really fun. Also doing my meditations today, and before I started I spoke with a woman who has some kind of Christian belief. I don't know which one it is, but she was talking about how she'd liked to have fellowship with the people in her church, you know, within her denomination, but also with others, that she didn't want to keep that all, you know, separated as people do. And I think that's really neat. I told her that the light that she calls God shines through all of us, through all cultures, and each individual's way of looking at things, each country, nation, tribe's way of looking at things. I said that it's like each person is a stained glass window, and the light shines through each one of us differently. It shines through some of us to be skeptics or to be agnostics. It shines through many of us to adopt whatever traditions we have learned as children, whatever traditions we grew up with. It shines through some of us to adopt new faiths or new ways of thinking. And I think the most important thing is that the light shines through all of us in whatever way it does. Some of us are hard to understand, you know. Some of us do horrible things, things that other people don't like at all. And it's important to see the light in them and in everyone, even if, you know, we even if we don't understand or accept what they've done, to accept that they are, you know, light shown through some kind of a prism, some kind of a stained glass window. Maybe that light shines through a stained glass window that has a picture of something horrible in it, you know, made in the stained glass mosaics. I don't know. And we certainly, you know, like some people more than others, we find some people easier to love than others. But I think that, like this woman was saying, we need to love everybody, and as I was saying, you know, reach out as far as we can to every person with our hearts. That doesn't mean that if someone does stuff we don't like, we have to be around them. That doesn't mean if someone does stuff we don't like, we have to, you know, accept it. You know, we sometimes can go our own way from things we don't like. Sometimes we as society decide to lock up people who do things that we don't like. Sometimes as a society we get that right, sometimes we don't. But in general, the idea, you know, of keeping, you know, people who hurt others away from the ones who could get hurt, I think that's fair. I have not gotten involved in the criminal justice part of this world too much and plan to keep it that way, but some people spend their lives on one side or the other of that equation, and they have different perspectives. In fact, if you have a perspective on that, on right and wrong, crime and punishment, and how we all live together as beings who all make choices, I'd love to hear from you, whether you're on the law side or the people being locked up by the law side. I'd like to hear all perspectives on that. So that's really what I'm feeling today, is just a great sense of accepting myself and everyone else just the way we are, and growing to be more of what we are, not to be more of what people would like us to be or anything else, but only growing to be more of what we are now, what we are deep inside, having more and more of that. Which means, of course, that each one of us is going to grow in a new direction. Each one of us is going to grow in our own way that only we know, that only we have the intuition for, that only we have that inner guidance that tells us to go in that direction. Which to me means that we all need to not judge each other and, be nice, because, we just don't know what another person's life is like. There's so many of us, and we're all so very different from each other. So, I'm going to do some more meditation and see what happens after that. If you like, check me out at joeneely.net/goldenhour, or leave a comment here on YouTube. See you soon.